I'm Natalie.
And I'm Hannah. Welcome to the Stride Sisters podcast. On today's episode, we're discussing the 2025 Springtime Surprise Weekend Event Guide. It's a little crazy that we're already talking about the final event guide of the 2024 to 2025 RunDisney race season. Join us as we break down everything from yoga to the expo to the races themselves and all those magical details in between. So lace up your shoes and step into the magic with us.
Off the bat here, I want to address something. Thank you for all who have been concerned about Mr. Natalie being referred to as Mr. Natalie exclusively. But he not only likes it, but encourages it. So he knows that first of all, he knows I call him Mr. Natalie on the podcast. Appreciate the concern, though. I took his last name. He can just take my first one. That's only fair. Yes, no, he knows. He doesn't not know that I'm not using his first name. He knows. He likes it and he encourages it because he thinks it's funny.
Mm-hmm. Keeps an air of mystery about it.
Yes. Not that I'm doing like a fantastic, spectacular job of, covering it up, covering up his actual name. Also, unrelated, if you're a Shamrock Shake type of person, those will be going out this week. So get your last chamois while you're here.
The toothpaste shake. I like mint, but no thank you.
I do like a good chamois. They came so early this year, and I don't know when exactly they go out. Just I know that it's post St. Patrick's Day that they start withering away.
Mm-hmm.
They like Mariah Carey in November. Actually, Mariah Carey come January just starts getting frozen and taken back underground. No defrosting, or the undefrosting, the refreezing, if you will.
All right. Do we have any training updates after we've, now that we've covered that?
Pressing breaking news.
Yeah.
Not really, to be honest with you. I, over the last week and a half, have been ill, to say the least. So I've been kind of sick. So I have gotten out for a couple walks, if that, but hopefully I'm going to be able to get back on the wagon now. I know I've got the fitness to get me through Springtime Surprise. I just need to get some base level training done. But on the plus side, it's given me an opportunity to all the little niggles that I've had some opportunity to heal them because I haven't really been running at all. So anything that was wrong, like my Garmin, insulting Garmin, said to me, like, you're at 100% in your training readiness. In like the
thinks you're tapering.
In the peak of marathon training, it was like 0 rest today. I'm like, I'm in the middle of a sim right now, so no, I can't. So here we are. It's fine. We'll be fine. And I think that in the grand scheme of things that I'm still working out when I exactly start training for Chicago. So in terms of having like a little bit of a break is pretty good for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
I am on, I guess, like a hiatus or something. Not because I'm sick, not because I'm injured. I have a little secret that I can't share with the world for a few more weeks, and it is consuming my life. So it is difficult with that, and my job where I keep getting like yanked around is not the nicest way to put it, but we keep scheduling these when we have to do work, we have to do it at night because you can't make updates to products while users are using the product, and they'll schedule it for like 9 p.m. on a Monday, and then Monday during the day we have a meeting and it's like go no go, and we say no go, and then they just push it a day and push it a day and push it a day, and that makes it really hard to, like, schedule out your time. You would think that if they just cancel it, well, then why don't you just, like, go do your workout when you get home, but it, something about, like, not mentally preparing myself for that to be how the day goes makes that a hard transition for me sometimes, so hopefully in a few weeks everything will get back to normal. I'm still trying my best to do some stuff here and there, but I also think I needed a little bit of a mental break to just like reset for a new goal.
Yeah, I think also March is hard for me, has always been hard for me running wise. And you'd think it wouldn't be because March is where it's like the weather is prettier. There's more daylight. Life is good. You hit daylight savings time and then you're beautiful, like, oh, the sun actually rises in the morning, and that goes away. But March has always been kind of difficult for me. Um, and I wonder if other people have that, because a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's January. I'm like, well, I'm usually riding the high of marathon weekend during
Yeah.
January, or getting ready for Princess. So I'm like, yay, everything is wonderful and awesome. But March is where I usually struggled the most with it.
I have a trouble in like March, April time as well because I think it's not just that like all the big races on my calendar, I don't have anything. I am in a transition period. Daylight savings does not work in my favor. I get super tired and it takes me a bajillion years to get over it. And just I think there's something about like this time, right? We had the holidays, we had big things going, and now there's like a big lapse in time before we have any kind of vacation. If you're a parent that has kids, like all the kids are on spring break on spring break right now. And as adults without kids, we don't have spring break. And I know that's very stressful for a parent because you now have to like balance a job and that your kids do not have childcare. Uh, but I don't you like I feel like I need to like schedule my own spring break because I feel like but we never do. I don't know why I continue to do this to myself every year, but
Because we do Princess instead
yeah.
as our midwinter break. Or winter break, I guess, as you will, because spring officially starts here in a few days.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, it's interesting because yeah,
I'll finally have to take the winter wreath off our door, even though it hasn't been like cold in Atlanta for weeks.
yeah, I really missed some of the most beautiful, because also allergy season restarting. Not
Oh
that it
yeah.
ever really goes away here, but it's like, wow, here's the trees having green on them again. This is what life is supposed to be. And then take a deep breath, and then all of a sudden the pollen re-enters your body that's been gone for a few months. You're like, ugh.
I did have my first day coming home from work this week where I noticed there was a yellow blanket across the hood of my car and I was scared.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the days where I wake up with a headache every day.
Yeah. Yeah, but summer is coming. It almost felt like summer this week in the little amount of time I was outside
Oh,
after being sick.
it's definitely already Midwest summer in Atlanta, so real summer is around the corner.
Somebody described St. Patrick's Day in Chicago as the kickoff to Chicago summer, and I thought about that for a second. I'm like, I mean, besides the whole weather thing where sometimes you get snow in April, kind
Yeah.
of, sort of, I guess if like your summer is constituted by, day drinking and whatnot, as one does
Mhm.
when they dye the river green. Yes, but also remember that we still get snow in April.
It
So,
snowed in May, my freshman year of college when we were driving home from Ohio. It was fine in Ohio. I was wearing leggings and a Spirit jersey, and somewhere along the way, maybe, like, near Indy, it started snowing, and by the time we got home to Chicago, it was, like, inches, plural, of snow in May.
yes, that was my senior year, and my high school had a late prom. So, yeah, we had a later prom, so it probably would have been around the time that you were driving home, like, that week, because I think I remember
Mhm.
ended up being a little. little chilly and rainy on, like, prom day, but ended up being fine that weekend. But I remember that just brought back a memory of a weird late May, or not late May, mid-May
Mhm.
snow. So, fall spring or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've been on enough of a tangent, going back into our memories of yore. Let's get some dates out there.
Ooh,
So we have 16 days until Springtime Surprise Weekend 2025. I am supremely jealous of you, Natalie, and all you listeners who will be there. Are
me
you
too.
stoked?
Oh, I'm very stoked. I just that, teens, digits with the whole costume thing.
Basically 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's time for me to start, it's time to start the music, it's time to light the lights.
Have you still not purchased anything?
No. No, I haven't.
Ma'am.
I know. D
And we brainstormed such a beautiful one.
Yeah, we have the basis of that. That one I feel actually the most okay about.
Oh, okay.
It's the other
The other ones.
races that I it's not that I have some ideas, and they're not gonna be too hard to execute, so, but
Okay.
we'll get there. I only got 1 weekend to panic craft though, so because 'cause I'll be gone the following weekend for a wedding.
Yeah. Are you flying through Atlanta at all on your way?
You think I've
Unknown?
booked a flight yet?
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say, if 2 of us panic craft together, we might be able to get some stuff done. I could meet you at the airport for a little handoff.
Run back through clear, because yeah, that because that's also spoiler alert if you ever change your name legally for anybody listening, and, like, the whole process of getting everything changed, every different account, card issuer, etcetera, it works a little differently and, like, allows different things, so, Delta, I can't book online right now. American, I have to be really careful with what credit card I use because it has to match if I wanna use miles on the airlines have them, it's just yeah, it's
This
the
is
whole thing.
obviously why there are agencies for that now.
Yeah, I was too stubborn to do newly named or any of the above, but I can definitely see why that is a thing. It's just that, like, and it hasn't even been too honestly, it hasn't been too horrible changing everything, it's just that all the things you realize you have to change.
Yeah.
Like,
That's yeah.
you think you're cooking when your passport's back and done, and no, there's so much more you have to do. Um, but no, it's all good.
All right, we have 170 days until Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon 2025 and the start of a new season.
Woo.
Whoa. Your proof of time deadline is also quickly approaching, with that being April 1st, 2025. Make sure you get that in if you need to. We have 219 days until Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend 2025. Your shirt deadline is next week on March 26th, 2025. Make sure you check the sizing charts if you haven't gotten one of the new shirts yet, because they have switched to Brooks shirts. So at least they have a sizing chart, because before it was just the Wild Wild West, I think. But make sure you check that and update your size if needed. Your proof of time deadline for Wine and Dine is May 1st, 2025. We have 295 days until Marathon Weekend 2026. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I can't do one of those like siren things, but that was my attempt. Your shirt deadline. Your shirt deadline is June 15th, 2025, and your proof of time deadline is July 1st, 2025. You have 345 days until Princess Half Marathon Weekend 2026. Your Club Run Disney registration is June 17th, 2025, and general registration is June 24th, 2025. So you've got a little bit of a break. You got a little time before that. We still don't have any information about Disneyland. So I don't know. I guess soak up the gap.
Rebuild your funding after you dropped over $700 dues on dopey registration and or your pre-order merch.
That sold out so fast.
Yeah.
Pre-orders shouldn't sell out. That's not what a pre-order is.
Yeah, but I'm of two thoughts on that because one year during springtime surprise, and by 1 year I mean in 23, your first one, they had a specific, I think it was the Alien Spirit jersey that
Mhm.
then I did get. Oh, I did have Club Run Disney at that point. I'm like, how did I get one of those? But I had Club Run Disney. But they were like, oh, like this sold out so fast because we had so many pre-orders. I'm like, well, doesn't that help you demand plan? Like, are we still have a
Mhm.
finite limit? I don't know. I'm a mean counter or something. So it's not like I know what that might mean. But it was one of those where I remember just the something was not right in my head. But yeah, I shouldn't. I understand that eventually it will, but with as much time as we have till marathon weekend, that was a little
Yeah.
interesting. That dopey fleece was gone.
Mhm.
Can't say I bought it.
Well, I didn't buy it. Yeah, I'm not doing Dopey, so
Yeah, to I guess transition into that. How did we fare on marathon registration day?
I'm in for the marathon. I wanted Goofy, and I think with, like, I don't know, less than 5 minutes before we got in for my registration, it sold out. It was pretty close.
It was pretty close. I think I was clicking in relatively soon to that because we had the help of a friend who did try to get Hannah in because
Mhm.
she was in before I was. So we had a friend who tried to help get Hannah in, and as she was clicking pay, it sold.
It was a big old bummer.
And then I was like typing back like it's okay, thank you for trying. And then mine went, and I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
crack the knuckles, here we go.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But
it was reminiscent of 23.
it
Not
was
as bad.
it was fast. I mean, I if you are on any of the, Run Disney Facebook groups or whatever, I believe his name is Ryan on the Run.
Yes.
He posts these beautiful graphics of how fast every race sells out for the last, like, I don't know, 8 or so years,
Mhm.
maybe 10, I don't know. Um, and the numbers were very, very similar. It was pretty quick that everything sold out. And I think I don't know, looking at the history, I'm less shocked that Goofy sold out, but I think a lot of people were because they were expecting it to take longer than last year since last year was a or this year, your perspective, was an anniversary year,
Mhm.
but that did not help our cause whatsoever.
Yeah. It's funny because I think that people still expect Goofy to be the I don't mean this personally as what my thoughts are, but I don't wanna call it the consolation prize to Dopey, but
Mhm,
because again, we talked about in the to Dopey or not to Dopey episode, Goofy's lit. We are
mhm.
goofy people here.
Hoping for an
But
upgrade.
woo woo. But I think that people and it used to be that Goofy wouldn't sell out for weeks, months,
Mhm.
et cetera, but it was more of the consolation prize of like, "Oh, I couldn't get into Dopey, so at least I'm gonna do, like, those 2 days of the races." So, it's definitely interesting. I the marathon weekend 5K,
It's so fast.
that's the only one that I've struck out on fully before. Because during the COVID
Wow.
year well, okay, it was during the AP registration, throwback,
Mhm.
and I, like, got the screen of death, like the, "Sorry,
Mm.
this event has sold out"
Mhm.
screen, struck out type of thing, and then, last year, before I even got in, the 5K sold out for marathon weekend as well, so mildly cursed, but it didn't that 1 year, when I was in for the Dopey 23
Mhm.
registration, but it was definitely a little bit of a madhouse because yeah, I think that everything was gone in an hour and a half
Yeah,
this time,
definitely. I think we were under 90 minutes.
and even last year, which I also thought was pretty quick, we had up to 2 I know that it took 2 hours for the half marathon to sell, and that was the last one to go. So, if you're sitting here and you're wondering, you're sad that you didn't get a bib, we still have some options. Um, Go ahead, look at the charity different providers that Disney has. They there's a lot of charities that have sold out of their bibs, but not all of them yet. So find a charity that has a cause that's close to your heart and something that is important to you that you can see yourself fundraising for. Reach out, see if you can get yourself a bib. Also, as the summer goes on, historically, this is not a promise, this is just pattern and fact analyzing, uh, is that they've done another bib drop, like
Mhm.
sometime July, August, etc., where it's not just one of those random ones where it's open for about 46 seconds. It's open for an hour, maybe 2 hours. When it was me facing that, it was 3 hours and everything like reopens. So keep your eye out on that. The team over at Team RunDiz has created a bot that releases when those registrations are open through Discord, Telegram, the Twitter alerts. So find your alert bot
Platform of
of
choice.
choice. Yes. I personally like the Discord one, and keep your eye out for when things reopen and try to snag a bib that way
Good
if
luck.
you're still looking. Or maybe you've set your sights elsewhere,
Mhm.
which that's okay too.
There are some pretty cool ones all around the same time. There's a it's it's in, Key West, and I think it's
Ooh.
the week after marathon weekend, and it's its own little challenge. It's a 5K, 10K and a half maybe or something called the, like, Big Chicken or something. I should have looked it up before I mentioned it while recording, but, it looks quite cute, and they also do a challenge medal situation like Disney does, so I feel like that brings you joy, then you can do something similar, and you could go to Key West.
Mile zero of the southernmost point of the United States,
Mhm.
continental United States, I should say. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of really good options. And then again, kind of a lot of people just kind of keep the faith that
Mhm.
something's going to work out. I guess that's what I did this year
What
for springtime.
when we were yeah, and when we were training for Dopey this year, I knew people who were training for Dopey and were hoping to be able to secure a bib through, like, a random drop. They
Mhm.
trained all the way up until, like, a couple weeks before finally securing a bib. And I was like,
That,
"I don't have that level of faith. Good for you."
that is some good mental fortitude. I was going to say, I remember plenty seeing more the year before last, plenty of people who were in the same boat were like, I'm training as if I have a bib. Like, that is kind of nuts, and in the best way, in the way that I love this community, that like, some people really do, like, they go out for their Thanksgiving simulation and don't have a bib, but they're going out for 23, baby. And then they end up getting one. So pretty cool, pretty awesome that um, I
Those are the
admire those
kind of people
people.
that can definitely complete a dopey. If you can train for dopey without knowing if you're actually gonna be able to do it, you're gonna be just fine.
But yeah, I mean, there's also well, even beyond that, there's people who have gotten notified about a world major like really close to it and be like,
Mhm,
well, like, they either get a
mhm,
charity bid, they get off the lottery, like like second chance type thing where
mhm,
here I go. So pretty interesting and pretty cool. That that's definitely really really good motivation. Either
mhm.
that, I would be finding myself a marathon to do. I don't know. I know the Donna is in late January, early February. That's another popular one among Run Disney runners. Believe it's in northern Florida, if not Georgia, and I know that benefits breast cancer research. But yeah, lots of different good things that you can do. It'll be early February of next year.
Mhm.
That for the Donna Marathon.
Alright, do we have any Disney news other than our personal relevant, obviously, Disney news? Any other Disney news?
We got the event merch for springtime.
It's cute.
Lots of tank tops, which your girly loves. Tank Top City, baby. Excited to make probably most of those mine, uh, if not all of them, where it seems like they all looked really cute, and then I know I'll wear them while training all summer. The Loungefly was pretty cute too.
I like the Loungefly. That was the I saw the pictures and I showed them to Ben, and he was very, like, open to it. I also saw unrelated, but Loungefly related, they released, not Disney, the Epic Universe merch that's gonna be coming.
Oh my
They did
no.
a drop of all of that, and the toothless Loungefly is
I know.
supremely cute as well as the popcorn bucket.
I know.
I really enjoyed all of that as well, and he really did, where he was we were looking at the stuff, all of the different merch across Springtime and Epic and all this week, and he was like, "So are you gonna start your own little merch fund for this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I am." If we're gonna be, because we wanna go to Epic, when we do marathon weekend, and hence why I'm not doing Dopey. And so I need to have that, that little, like, souvenir fund bulked up a bit because the right now it's looking dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, all this stuff looks so good. Did get a lot of epic news this week.
Mhm,
And it definitely I can't believe because I believe that team member previews have started. So or they're starting soon, maybe this week. So I'm so excited to see and I know you can't really say much, but it'll be exciting. It'll be, in real time a new theme park being opened in front of us.
mhm,
We had a couple different little blips of news in terms of different previews for some of the ride attractions that will come as kind of some of our D23 news.
mhm,
Really all we got is like some schematics for or like a little bit of a how they're going to load you onto the lot onto the ride for the Monsters door coaster.
mhm,
Uh, which actually looks really, really cool. I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for more news to come with
mhm,
it. I know that we got some of the testing that they're doing to develop a new car for the Cars ride that's going to come into where Tom Sawyer Island is in Magic Kingdom. And we're for everyone who thought that it was going to be a like reskinned Radiator Springs Racers, it's
doesn't
not.
seem like it, yeah.
It seems like they're really gonna go in and develop a completely brand new thing for it, which will be really exciting, to see how it comes and how we're gonna get cars into, Frontierland here. I'm excited for that, but, It's Tough to Be a Bug has now had its last showings.
Yes, so sad.
RIP. RIP the stink bomb. I hope that they contain the Hopper animatronic somewhere. By which I mean that thing is like nightmare fuel. So even so, I don't know. Maybe it can go with like Stitch, what's left of Stitch somewhere, but that'll
I'm sure they have their own monster containment system somewhere.
yeah. Well, so I've been back in the as part of the Backstage Magic tour, which once that comes back, that is a fantastic tour to take. Has not come back since COVID though. They have like these gigantic warehouses behind Magic Kingdom that'll store Christmas decorations, stuff that they're working on, stuff they're working on repairing, and some of their old animatronics end up there. I hope that there's like a special containment facility for like the creepy animatronics that they like retire. But that is a super cool tour. Disney, if you're listening, if you can like bring that back, please and thank you. That one was awesome. It's like a 7-hour tour. Kind of, you don't need to get a park ticket for the day because you're most of your day. But definitely a lot of the backstage stuff that you could see is really, really, really neat. Like exceptionally so. I would definitely do it again. But yeah, I think that since we all last kind of talked news and stuff like that, more of Dino Land has been dismantled in terms of the Cementosaurus, the Triceratops spin is gonzo. We'll know Muppets leave in a couple months. But yeah, it's interesting kind of it will be interesting to be back in a couple of weeks and then also see where things stand back there. Definitely excited for the future, for sure. But it is kind of weird to see them take down some of those iconic landmarks. All right, time for a fun fact or two. All right. I always love a kind of weird one that's like only somewhat tangentially related. Um, On the 18th of March in 1837, Grover Cleveland, the 22nd and 24th United States president, is born in Caldwell, New Jersey. He's one of the few presidents to have a Disney song written about him. This is why this made the fun fact real. The tune Let's Put It Over with Grover was written by the Sherman Brothers for the 1968 live action feature, The One and Only Genuine Original Family Band. Also hashtag
Snazzy.
Ohio. A little bit more timely, on today in 1967, the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction opens in New Orleans Square at Disneyland in California. Also, the Blue Bayou opened this day.
Iconic.
Very much iconic. So, exciting. Shall we talk about an event guide?
I think so.
Isn't it crazy? This is the last one of these we're talking about for the season.
Yeah, we got a while to go before the next one, which is, I mean, it's exciting to have like a reset and to know that like we've put in all this work and it's coming, it's rounding up, but then we're just going to start all over and get ready for the next one. But yeah, that's crazy.
It'll be August before we know it,
It
and we're
will.
looking at the Disneyland event guide. And actually, kind of on that topic to the listeners, if you have like feedback on how we cover certain things, whatnot, feel free to let us know in terms of it seems like that these episodes that people really like them.
They
So
do really well.
they do
Which
they
is
do really
interesting.
well. Because we're gonna pour through the event guide either which way. We didn't do full episodes for Disneyland for either of the events, but if you'd like to hear that, let us know. Definitely let us know, especially as we're heading into a little bit of a rebuild season. I don't
Mm,
want to call it off season. I like the rebuild season.
mhm.
But yeah, we are looking at the Springtime Surprise Event Guide. Our featured charity of the weekend is Make a Wish of Central and Northern Florida. So go ahead. We will leave a link to that in the comments. Make a Wish helps with children with critical illnesses, experience something that's going to help with their treatment, help them keep a positive mindset. And they do a lot of really, really amazing work. Our expo. It's like kind of sad. It's like, it's almost like I almost don't want to get through
I
it
don't know what to
because
say. I feel so weird.
I know that it's the last one of these. um,
Uh, Don't
our
worry,
ex
we will still have content for the next few months. We won't just like stop talking because there's no races.
don't worry, if you guys have been along this long, you know that we'll keep yapping for you. um, our hours for the expo are on Thursday, April 3rd, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday, April 4th, 12 to 7 p.m. and Saturday, April 5th, the last day this season that Run Disney runners will grace the ESPN Wide World of Sports as an absolute unit, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
I'm sure the ESPN personnel are ready for their break, ready for, I don't know, cheer competitions and baseball or something.
Yeah. But also, the beer vendors. I would be so curious I would love like that data of like what beer cups like have sold the best.
Mm.
What I'm sure that the non-generic beer cup is here to stay. And they brought it with the design, so I'm fine. But I am very curious to see how I'd love to see the numbers on that. Not that I ever will.
It would be hard to scrape that data. I don't think that's publicly available, and we don't know anyone. We're not that cool.
No, no, we don't. And we also wouldn't want anyone to risk their job for
Yeah.
us.
Oh, God. No.
Even for just my beer cup knowledge. Yeah.
Check-in passes will be available on Monday, March 31st, 2025. You are going to need to bring that either printed or as your digital check-in pass, either in your Apple Wallet or is it called Android Wallet? Whatever the Android one is, can you tell I don't have one? I don't know.
Or a screenshot.
Yeah, or a screenshot. You'll bring that with a photo ID to get your bib. And that could also be a screenshot, as we've learned from real experience that what the alternatives are. Um, you will also need to sign your waiver in your account. Otherwise, you'll have to sign a paper one when you arrive at the expo. It's really quite easy to do. All international runners have to sign the paper one because reasons that are unknown to me. And yeah, other than that, it's pretty easy. Natalie's going to explain the virtual queue for merch because if you've never been to Disney before now, for whatever reason, congratulations. We're so happy for you. But there are not currently any virtual queues for rides, so you may not actually know what one is or how to get in.
Yeah, we might have all forgotten. So, the virtual queue is a waiting system that allows you to do other things while instead of waiting in a long, long line for
Kinda.
your merchandise, more or less. But trying to avoid the snaking lines, at least from the merch side. This is only going to be in place for the first day of the expo, so the April the 3rd. And what you're going to do in order to join the virtual queue is you pop open your My Disney Experience app. So, the app that you're using to do things like look at your resort hotel, your pictures, your lightning lanes if you have them.
Order mobile foods.
Oh, oh, mobile
Prime.
order. Mobile order with food is the best. You're going to navigate to the virtual queue section on the welcome screen and tap join virtual queue. There's going to be just one place for you to tap. It'll be the ESPN Wide World of Sports tab, and it'll have something that says Run Disney Merchandise Shop Virtual Queue. You can request to join at 8:30 in the morning on April 3rd, which is exciting. Not 7 a.m., just 8:30. And you're going to select the number of guests, up to 6 people total in your shopping party. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be people participating in the event, just people who you are linked to
Mhm.
on My Disney Experience. So, say you're going with your kids and your kids aren't running, or
Your
when
Aunt
my
Kathy.
mom, yeah, my true, or my mom comes along because she loves the expo. So, I can add her. I could add Mr. Natalie if he were going to be down at a weekend, and you can have it's again up to 6 total, so including you. You'll select join virtual queue once more, like at 8:30. Everybody has to be on your friends and family list prior to doing that. It can't just be me and then 5 randoms. Like
Mhm.
somehow when you make your dining reservations, you can just have Natalie and then guest 1, guest 2, guest 3, which is usually the avenue I end up going down because I just forget to actually I just put in like 4 people and then we have people show up. Um, if there are still open spots in the virtual queue, which there will be, you'll see a confirmation screen, and your estimated wait time is based on your expo opening time of 10 a.m. So don't be too worried if it appears you get in right away, you get group one, and it still says you're like 100 minutes out or 90 minutes out. That's based on the opening time, aside from Club Run Disney people. You will get a push notification when your group is ready to return, and you'll have to pull up a QR code to get scanned in for it. One thing to note that as you're joining the virtual queue, for this one specifically, which this is the only one currently, uh, that you have to be within a
I think
certain
I
radius.
believe it's 50 miles.
I was going to say 45, but then it was
It might
like
be
40.
45, but that's like roughly.
Yes. So you can't if you are flying in that day and you're in Omaha, Nebraska, for example, you won't be able to join the virtual queue at 8:30 in the morning from home. You have to essentially the point is that you're like waiting and it's supposed to kind of help maximize your time.
Mhm.
So, in theory, so that you aren't spending tons of time waiting in the expo that like you're going to get in a little bit closer to it helps you plan too,
Mhm.
right? Where say you get a group 90. Okay, well, I know that I'm not going to get called until probably 2 p.m. anyway. So I'm going to go to Animal Kingdom this morning. I'm going to go do my stuff there. And then I'm going to wait to go over to the
We're
expo.
gonna ride dinosaur over and over and over again before we get called.
Gonna marathon the Muppets, baby. Marathon the Muppets. Um, On that note, this is only for the merchandise building, so nothing's stopping you from showing up right at 10 a.m., going to get your bib, your shirts, check out the vendor tent, and going and kind of having yourself a time. The food at the expo is actually pretty darn good. Have yourself like 6 ciders if you want. Maybe not that many, but I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But just know that you will have to wait for the virtual queue. So that's kind of, it's probably a little bit easier for you to do it on one fell swoop. Um, in the terms of the expo, oh, you had something.
I was gonna say, Natalie will not tell you how to live your life, but I will. Please drink responsibly.
In my head, it was like one of those, especially with spring. That's actually a really good point with springtime surprise. Maybe you're coming off of Princess where it was chilly, or Marathon Weekend where it was chilly, chilly. Um, Florida's not always like that. Springtime surprise tends to be particularly humid and hot. So alternate cider. If you're going to double fist, cider in one hand, electrolyte based drink, or water in the other. That's what we're doing. Beer in one hand, electrolyte based drink, water with liquid IV, something in the other. Okay. So make sure that you are hydrating, especially this weekend. It usually is nice and sticky. So,
Mhm. I would
yeah.
like to also offer another pro tip with the virtual queue. So, whoever's going to be in your party, you can all try on your own devices to get in. This will potentially, like, whoever gets in first will get in first. The other people just like won't get in because you're already linked up together. But what I do recommend is have if you have 2 phones, or your phone and your iPad, or your phone and your computer, or whatever, have the My Disney Experience app pulled up on your phone, and then on your alternate device, pull up a world clock, website, app, whatever, that goes all the way down to the seconds, and get ready to mash like you're playing Super Smash Bros, on that join queue button, when it ticks down to exactly 8:30. Get ready, because that's you're gonna probably get a lot better experience rather than waiting for it to tick over and then clicking. Maybe a lower number. We got a single digit once, so, like, that anecdotal evidence is all I have for you.
Yeah. So it's if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We've done virtual queues for Run Disney merch, also for rides when those were in place. So definitely we got the experience, and and we can help kind of walk you through. I'm sure that there are YouTube videos out there as well of what, a virtual queue looks like.
We
Um
should have screen recorded it while they still existed.
we totally should have. Let's table that for like could have you try to do that during springtime in the morning. Or I will just do it because I'll be, adding myself to the virtual queue. Um, oh, maybe I'll do it like later in the day when it doesn't matter. Because usually what happens is that by like 3 o'clock, this is not a guarantee, but usually by 3 o'clock, I don't want to say they've given up on the virtual queue, but everybody has been called so that like, you could still add yourself to it. So usually by that point, they kind of just let you walk in.
Yeah, either
So
everyone's been called or the amount of people left is less than, what they can have in the building anyways, so they just go ahead and, like, suspend it and let everyone in.
yes. So fear not. If you're like me and you always end up right back at the expo, um, for reason other some reasons or other.
They have also been strategically released, like, maybe not strategically, but they release different stuff on different days depending on which truck it comes in, and some stuff gets restocked and some stuff doesn't. So if you miss out on something on the first day, it's not necessarily like a death sentence that you're not going to get that thing. You still have a chance if you come back on subsequent days.
That's true. Or sometimes people who can't make decisions just roll back up with that thing,
Mhm.
and decide that they're going to return it to the expo.
Maybe you'll
like
run into
me.
Natalie and she'll have something for you.
Yeah, I'll have something in my little blue and white striped backpack that might be of interest to you. Uh, and I could have said that in like about 1,000 different ways to make it sound less creepy. Just that it's, I usually am ended or on my way back over, and then like we said at Princess, I ran into somebody who actually wanted the thing I had. So not to say that saved me a stop because I still ended up back in that building, but I like to think that I, made that a little bit better for that person.
Even if she doesn't have a piece of merch that you're hoping for, she will have a sticker for the podcast, so please
True.
ask for one.
Yes. Please do. Maybe remind me to put some sunscreen on. Just kidding. I'm actually really good about that. uh,
Lifeguards. Woo.
exactly. And because I fried one springtime. So I fried, my friend Travis and I were at Typhoon Lagoon, like pretty much open to close
Mhm.
on 5K day of springtime. And your girl was a little crispy for the rest of the weekend. Not horribly crispy, but I was a little pink.
Mhm. We haven't covered medical yet, but if you need sunscreen during any of the races, they have it in the medical stops, so you can pick up sunscreen.
Exactly. One note on transportation. It will begin 30 minutes prior to the expo opening and end 30 minutes after the expo closes. And transport for all race related activities is a charter bus. It's not like your Disney wrapped buses, your Disney type of buses. They usually have, it'll be at all your resorts, not at the parks. So if you're at Magic Kingdom and planning on going into the expo, you're going to need to go walk over to the Contemporary, take the monorail over to one of the monorail resorts, and go on a Run Disney bus from there. If you're Club Run Disney, like I am, you will need to take advantage of your early shopping window. For platinum, it's 8 a.m. For gold, it starts at 8:30 a.m. You're going to need to Uber or drive yourself because the bus does not start that early. So find a friend or something, or just take your Uber over to the ESPN Wide World of Sports.
On a final note for the expo, you must pick up your bib the day before your race. Disney does not guarantee that there will be emergency bib pickup the morning of your race. Now, have I heard of plenty of scenarios where they have indeed been able to do that at Runner Relations? Yes, but you should not bank on that. Plan on being there the day before your race to pick up your bib at the expo. You also cannot pick up a bib for someone else. So if you're not going to be there, you can't send your friend who's already in town to go get yours. Your mom can't do it. Your daughter can't do it. Your best friend, who might as well be your sister, can't do it. You have to pick it up because they're going to match your ID to the name. It's just how it goes. The only exception is if your child is a minor, or yeah, you can pick it up for a minor, is what I'm saying.
Indeed. One thing about expo hours is that I feel like this question kind of comes up with the whole emergency bid pickup thing.
Mhm.
It's a hard close. So they
Yes.
will shut the gates. They will shut down at the closing time.
Mhm.
So, um, if you're landing at MCO at 2:15 on Saturday, um, if you make it to ESPN by 3:05,
It's not happening.
yeah, it's not happening. When they do have emergency bid pickup, your shirt does not go there.
Mhm.
So you will need to, if
Either
the expo is still open, then you can go there and plead your case because usually then they don't man the booths for a race that has passed.
Mhm.
But if not, you are out of luck
Mhm. So
to get
if
your shirt.
it's the last race, if it's in the case of springtime, if it's for the 10 miler and you have to do emergency that morning, you're not getting a shirt.
You can always reach out to Runner Relate. You can always reach out to Run Disney, but they're pretty much going to tell you no, we're not going to mail the shirt. So
Mhm.
make sure that you get there on time. It is something you agreed to when you registered for the race. So, because also things happened. Because maybe I'll gonna maybe snip that. Things happen. So if you are in the situation where best laid plans and you're supposed to get there on and winter or not even winter storms anymore, spring storms or whatever, what have you, they'll work with you. Just know that if this is your plan A, it shouldn't be.
Mhm. It rains basically every single afternoon in the South this time of year into basically fall, so maybe keep that in mind with your flights in the future.
Yes.
All right. Ready to talk about the course?
Oh, I'd love to.
Courses, plural, technically. There are 3 races, so.
Indeed.
On the 5K course, we have 1 water stop, and it is near the American Adventure Pavilion in Epcot. That's it. There's nothing else. Obviously, if you need medical, you're in Epcot basically the whole time, so you're gonna be okay, but there's no, like, formal medical tent anywhere along the course until you get back to this finish line. On the 10K course, we've got 3 water stops, 1 medical, and it is just before mile 4. And for the 10 miler, we've got 6 water/Powerade stops. The first one on the course is always just water. Everything after that is combined. And there is 1 food stop. And there are 5 medical stops along the course. Is the
The 10
food stop
miler.
new?
No, they do it for the races that are 10 mile and up.
I just don't remember there being one when I ran it that first time.
Oh, there were beans. There were beans. So I
Crazy how the
remember.
memory fades. I was also probably not doing so hot whenever that was because it was basically from mile 5 or 6 onwards. It was the furthest I'd ever run in my whole life, and Ben was doing a lot better than I was and ditched me. So,
I had a cape on. That was fun. Except then because it was so hot and sticky, and this is gonna be a prevailing theme, we're probably gonna bring it up like 8 more times. Hydrating, etc.
mm,
Because springtime surprise is hot and sticky. It's lovely. It's a fun time. Just know that I remember the cape slapping back at me. It was really fun when I was going up and down the on ramps
mhm.
because it billowed behind me. But when it like got stuck to me, it was sticky.
Yeah.
Good times. But yes, make sure you are hydrating. Please, please,
Mhm.
please.
Because a
Um,
lot of the 10 miler, we're gonna talk about, like, the actual courses, not just, the stats, but the actual 10 miler has a decent amount of highway time, and not only will it be hot and sticky just because that's how Florida is, but when you're running on the highway, which is asphalt, tarmac, whatever you wanna call it material, that absorbs and radiates a heck of a lot of heat. So if say the real temperature is, I don't know, 85 and high humidity, 80, I don't know, 80% humidity, then you're going to be feeling like it's in the 90s or hotter on like surface temperatures where you're running. So be alert. Bring a cooling towel, pour water on your head at water stops, do all the things and be prepared.
yes, definitely be prepared.
All right, so the 5K course is just the same 5K course we've had all season, yes?
Yes, there are no changes with it. But if this is the first race you're doing this year, it's a blast. Um, that you make a nice, lovely loop around the World Showcase. Your first mile is a little bit out on the roadways, and then going backstage behind Test Track to get into Epcot. You loop around World Showcase. It's a great time. Upon your exit from World Showcase, you head out near Spaceship Earth. There is a photo pass stop the line will always look more horrible than it is. It goes a lot faster because it's just a snap and go type of situation, and then you're cruising to the finish line.
Honestly, it's a ball. The
Yes.
5K, obviously, I mean, it sells out. We talked about with Marathon Weekend, it sells out
Hmm.
in a snap, but it is so much fun. It's a bop, it's a vibe, it's a whatever the kids are calling it these days. You're gonna have so much
Skibidi
fun.
toilet? I don't know.
No, I think that's a bad thing.
I don't know. Somebody from Gen Alpha, please correct me. I know Ohio is a bad thing to them, which I
Mhm.
have some words about.
I
I know
mean,
if something's Ohio, it's lame,
you
and that's not how I feel in my heart of
you only
hearts.
get to speak ill of Ohio if you've lived in Ohio.
My parents live in Ohio. I live in the moment. But yes, that's I don't want to say my trash because I love Ohio, but if I'm a raccoon, that's my trash can. Leave my trash can alone.
Uh, the 10K course. Tell us about it, Nat.
Oh, I'd love to. 10K course, you get your 3, 2, 1, go, head out onto the open road. You'll get to the toll plaza for Epcot, so where you would drive in if you were parking your car, except you are going out and you are not a car. Unless you're dressed like Lightning McQueen, which is definitely a choice for this weekend. That would be such an interesting one. But you head out onto some roadway, then you go up to an on ramp, and then you head along. Your first 3 miles are outside the parks, but once you get past mile 3, you are in Epcot, your near journey into your imagination, where there are bathrooms,
Mhm,
by the way. And you make a little dip into World Showcase, and then you actually dip into the area near the Yacht and Beach Club and the boardwalk. So you run past the Yacht and Beach Club. Usually one finds a puppet runner near mile 4 of the course. Cannot confirm whether or not he has a challenge bib this weekend, but you go around uh, onto the boardwalk, maybe slippery, especially with this race,
mhm,
with the humidity and whatnot. The boardwalk may be slippery. So, again, be
mhm.
careful. And once you go through the boardwalk, you head back into Epcot near the International Gateway, head around, do a partial lap of World Showcase, and then you will head up to the exit. You have another, you get to see beautiful, beautiful Spaceship Earth glittering and glistening in the distance. Not even distance because you'll run right under it. And then you exit and head to the finish line.
And now on to the 10-miler, the only unique race yet this season, since this is the only weekend it happens.
Exactly, exactly. So if you are a long time timer, aka the last couple of years, the 10-mile course is not different from the years prior. But if this is your first time running it, what we'll do is we get our 3, 2, 1, go. We head into Epcot, into World Showcase, make a nice loop around World Showcase, and then we exit at the International Gateway, head along the boardwalk, kind of almost the reverse of what you just did the day before if you're doing the 10K as well.
Mhm.
And then you'll head on the path to Hollywood Studios. This can get a little snuggly, as I like to say. And there's always a water stop. Actually, the water stop is near Jelly Rolls.
Ooh.
The the water stop, they don't have the mile 3 water stop along that somewhat snuggly road. Wow, this is so great. I was about to make a joke, and then I looked back at the map and went, "Oh, shoot,
They're
this is good."
learning.
Yes, we are learning. Um, anyway, it can get a little bit cramped, so just pack your patience
It's a
when running along
it's
there.
a sidewalk, guys, like, there's only so much room.
Yes. So pack your patience, definitely pack your awareness, so really make sure you're not walking on the left or also like sprinting around people on the right. So goes for both sides of that. Just because it can be a little bit cramped. Mile 3, you get is right near the Skyliner station. Then you go in for a lovely lap around Hollywood Studios. You'll run down, and one of the most exciting things is that you get to run through Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land when it's dark out.
Mhm.
Super duper exciting. You can blow some kisses to Muppets as you pass them, um, for the last time. Rip. And then you'll head down Sunset Boulevard toward Tower of Terror. There's always a lot of really good photo stops here that you can stop for. And then you'll exit. Um, Again, lots of bathrooms too. Then you'll
Mhm.
exit Hollywood Studios and head on out to some highway. Um, you'll exit, you'll go to the roadway. It's like kind of like reverse of parts of the marathon. Um, go down an on ramp, which is fun when you get to go down them. Head on, straight away up, and you're heading back toward Epcot. Then, in case you missed the on ramp for that we get to do during the half marathon courses. Don't worry, everybody. We get that banked turn into the on ramps. We are usually at mile 11, but by the time, because this is a little bit short of a race, we don't hit mile 11. We hit like mile 8.5 ish by the time we're back in the park. And by the park, we mean Epcot. So you'll re enter near Journey into Your Imagination, blip back into World Showcase for a hot minute, really between the two buildings in the port of entry. And then you will be heading back out to the World Celebration Gardens and then heading to your finish line for the final finish line of the 2024-2025 Run Disney season. There is a food stop on this course. As we mentioned, it's between miles 5 and 6. There'll be sport beans, so feel free to grab them.
If not, you can be like Natalie and carry them for others and be a little
Exactly.
food fairy.
Yeah, I like being a little food fairy. It's lovely. At least I don't know. I like being or I'll take them later. Sometimes I don't. I haven't actually. I don't know if I've grabbed them this season yet.
Really?
I don't. I did. Oh, I did during the half during marathon weekend because I oofed
Mm-hmm.
and forgot some of the fuel I had on a chair and oopsie
And I
daisies.
bailed you out.
Yes, you did.
Good thing I'm not on time a lot. Alrighty. And if you're thinking to yourself, but Natalie, Hannah, how do I get to the race? Well, let us tell you. We've got transportation times. Now, I want to start off at the beginning that all of the races Run Disney recommends that you are there no later than 4 a.m. So, for the 5K, to get from your resort to the start, the buses start at 3 a.m. and go until 5 a.m. They always secretly start earlier than 3 a.m. So, like, you can get out there earlier. And then the buses will not restart to take you back from the finish line to the resort until 6:30 a.m. They will then go until 8:30 a.m. Do not miss your bus to go back.
Or you're walking up to the front, and
Yeah.
you probably still have to wait a little bit. I don't know. I don't actually remember when Epcot opens 5K morning, but
Yeah.
don't make it harder than you need to. They will give you warnings though when bus transportation is going to stop. So it should not catch you by too much surprise.
Mhm. And then if for the 5K, we'll talk spectators, but it's for this race, like there's nowhere to spectate except start finish. So
Mhm.
if someone wants to do that, they should just come with you.
Yes.
Uh 10K, it's the same as the 5K, starts at 3 a.m., goes till 5 a.m. because they got to start shutting down the roads, so there's restrictions. And then the finish again starts at 6:30 a.m. and this time goes until 9 a.m. So you have an extra 30 minutes to get on a bus to go back to your resort. For the 10 miler, we start at 3 a.m. and we go until 5 a.m. Wow, it's almost like they're all the same. And then to go back to the finish, again, 6:30 a.m., but this time you have until 10 a.m., so an extra hour longer than the 10K. Would you like to cover projected start times, Natalie?
Oh, I'd love to cover these.
Because don't
So
panic about the difference between the start time and the 3 a.m. bus. You're going to be fine.
true. So for every race this weekend, your corral opens at 3:45 in the morning. None of them are 3:15s, so that's kind of nice. Nothing opens until 3:45 in the morning. So, I'm going to start with the 5K. And something that's unique about if this is your first springtime surprise, if you are doing the challenge, you're going to be in the same group all three races.
Ooh.
So, same bit, or it'll be just one letter, and that's where you're going to be for all three. Um, Something that the projected start times tell us is that Group B is the cutoff for proof of time, not Group C.
Mm.
So,
Might be a little
um,
squishy for the 10 miler.
I believe this is how it worked last year
Mm.
too. So, not that I was there, but I remember reading people like a pleasant surprise of, Group B is where POT cut off. So, we'll see if I'm there. considering how late I got my bib. But anyway, so I'm going to start with the 5K. Your corral is going to close. If you are in A, your corral closes at 4:45 in the morning. Your projected start time is between 5 a.m. and 5:03 a.m. If you are in Group B, you have a 4:50 corral closing time, and your projected start time is 5:04 to 5:11 a.m. And just the whole, oh, why does it close? Because they need to start loading you into the chute. A starts in the starting chute. B, they start loading you around. So that's why. If you miss your corral time, say that you are just running a little late, you're going to go in the next available corral. So say you get there at 4:55, you're going to go into C. Um, Speaking of C, your corral closes at 5 in the morning for the 5K, and your projected start time is 5:12 a.m. to 5:19 a.m. Group D closes at 5:05 a.m. and projected start time is 5:20 to 5:34 a.m. Group E closes at 5:20 a.m. and your projected start time is 5:35 a.m. to 5:43 a.m. And Group F closes when the start line closes, so basically when everybody has gone out, and your projected start time will be between 5:44 a.m. to 5:56 a.m. Again, these are approximations. They can change based on weather, delays. Usually if it's weather, it means they want to get you out faster. Just kind of pay attention to your race announcements, and it kind of helps a little bit for planning purposes. Note that if you are a speed demon in A, and remember how we said that the buses don't restart until 6:30, you might be waiting for a little bit. Um, but kind of plan accordingly. We like to make that a heavy character stop race or just stops in general. So, because if the bus doesn't restart till 6:30, then you're just kind of hanging out anyway. So do the start and finish characters. Go eat a pizza cone. Go grab your seltzer or beer. It's vacation. Do what you got to do, but also hydrate. Okay. For the 10K and the 10 miler, the corral closing times are the same. So I'm going to read those first and then get to our projected start times. So A closes at 4:45 in the morning. B closes at 4:50 in the morning. C closes at 4:55 a.m. D closes at 5:05 a.m. E closes at 5:20 a.m. and F closes when the start line clears. So when the balloon ladies are off, no one else can start after them because that's where the bikers are. So our projected start times. If you are in Group A for the 10K, actually this goes for the 10 miler as well, but since they start changing after A, I'm going to go 10K then 10 miler. So 5 a.m. to 5:03 a.m. Group B for the 10K again, 5:04 to 5:11 a.m. Group C, your projected start time is 5:12 a.m. to 5:21 a.m. Group D, your projected start time is 5:22 a.m. to 5:36 a.m. Group E, 5:37 a.m. to 5:51 a.m. Group F, 5:52 a.m. to 6:04 a.m. This is all for the 10K. Moving on to the 10 miler. If you are in Group A, you will start between 5 a.m. and 5:03 a.m. In Group B, you will start between 5:04 a.m. and 5:09 a.m. If you are in Group C, you will start between 5:10 a.m. and 5:20 a.m. This is why the suspicion is that B will be the cutoff for POT because B looks a lot smaller. Um, if you're in Group D, you will start between 5:21 a.m. and 5:35 a.m. Group E, you will start between 5:36 a.m. and 5:50 a.m. And in Group F, you will start between 5:51 a.m. and 6:11 a.m. Again, projections. So if we're anticipating any inclement weather, they will try to get us out faster than that. Um, Questions, comments, concerns, you can direct them to the DMs. And then I will see you on April 1st for Speculate and Spiral of all of our bib numbers.
If you're going to gear check for any of these races, and you can for any of them. A lot of local races won't have it for shorter distances, but Disney does have it available for all races. You will The gear check is in the reunion area, so they will provide you with a clear bag at the expo. There's almost always extras in the morning. The only time I've ever seen them be short was when it was downpouring and people really, really needed them. Um, so you'll have that. When you get there, you'll have to write your bib number on the bag. So if you want to write it on your bag ahead of time back in the resort, you go for it. They'll give you a little sticker that matches that they stick to your bag, and then one that they give to you, you can stick it to the back of your bib. If it's really hot and sticky though, or it rains, people have been known to lose it. So a lot of what I've been hearing is that people just take a picture of it on their phone. I would also still stick it to your bib because, like, maybe your phone dies. But that way you have 2 different ways to check. And I usually put it upside down so I can just, like, flip my bib and show the people at the truck what the number is, and they can figure it out for themselves. If you forget your gear check, so you're at the end of the race, you're so hopped up on adrenaline because you just PR'd and you just had the most amazing, exciting experience of your whole entire life, and you just, like, book it to wherever your friends and family are and get on a bus and oops, you left your gear check in the truck. You are going to need to go to the Epcot Lost and Found that is at guest relations just outside the park. Um, if you lose something that is not clothing along the course and it is retrieved, this is also where that will go. So if your shocks fall off your head, and you get lucky and someone turns them in, then that's where they would go. If you I don't know what else you would lose. Your gym boss timer falls off or, a stick of nut butter, or something. I don't know. Your phone falls out of your pocket, God forbid. Uh, then yes, you'll need to go to guest relations outside of Epcot. If you lose clothes, it's a lost cause. They're going to get donated to charity. Sorry. Not sorry, I guess, I don't know. If you, are going to have spectators joining you for the 5K and the 10K, it's just the start and finish line, so they're gonna need to get on one of those early buses with you. For the 10K or not the 10K, for the 10 miler, is that it's just the start and finish
It's
as
the
well.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
the same.
normally this is where we say like, "Oh, for the half or the full, there's other options," but that's not true. For springtime, it's the same for all the races, so if someone wants to spectate for depending on your speed, they probably need to get on an early bus. We always recommend they get on an early bus, but maybe they could get on a later bus and catch you at the end.
This is where the projected start times kind
Mhm.
of can help with, okay, if I anticipate running about a 2-hour 10 miler and I'm probably going to start around 5:35 in the morning, you can kind of work with your people to figure out when they need to be back for the finish line.
Mhm. And theoretically, if you're staying at Boardwalk when the runners go past there, you could spectate from there, but it's also a quiet zone, so you're not really supposed to be making a lot of noise and there are restrictions and like the course is roped off. So just, be cognizant that other people are sleeping. Don't bring an air horn.
Oh yeah, Mickey will get real mad if about that. He himself is going to take you out back after that and yell at you. We're going to go over a little bit of race etiquette, but one thing I wanted to address, something we purposefully didn't mention about the expo. As of recording, we still have no news about the Brooks shoes. We don't have a
Rude.
preview. We don't have a preview. We don't have a location. We have nothing. Um, so the absence of that is because we don't know yet. We have gotten another thing that I'll talk about later. We did get a little bit of an update on that since the event guide originally released, but we got nothing in terms of the Brooks shoes. So your guess is as good as mine is as to where they're actually going to be. Um, I am Katniss Everdeen, and I am, 3 thumbs up for good luck to me braving the crowds for the very first Brooks shoe drop since we have Disney shoes again. Uh, we don't know what building they're going to be in.
Mhm.
Race etiquette.
Very
Okay,
important.
very important. Um, etiquette to yourself is to hydrate. You're gonna
Mhm.
hear Pelkey say it like 18 times more than this. So, but yeah, definitely super duper important, and we say in like just a little, but we are being serious when we say take care of yourself, make sure you're hydrating during the day, make sure that you're balancing your water intake. Um, just you don't want you can overhydrate. It's so make sure you're balancing your electrolytes
Mhm.
with it. But anyway, that is included in the pre-race instructions, which you should pay attention to. They're both digital and verbal, so we if I say so, we say so ourselves. We go through the event guide pretty thoroughly, but make sure you leaf through it yourself so that you get a little bit of a chance to familiarize yourself with the courses, with everything that's going on. Even if you're someone like me who is has been around the block a couple times and has done most races this season, and by most I mean all of the ones on the East Coast I'll be completing. Definitely I learn something new every single time I leaf through the event guide. So what you read in here is not only going to help you through the race course, but will also keep you safe. Please enter your correct start group. This ensures you're running with people who have a similar pace. If you want to run with somebody and you're in different corrals, the person who is faster can always take a step back and they can go, you know, I can always drop back from C where I usually am.
She never would, though.
And okay, I'm not saying never.
I would never
I'm
ask
not
you to because I need you to run ahead and get into the character lines.
exactly. It's symbiotic. um, do I not usually maybe next year for the Rise and Run Alien group costume I will for the 5K, maybe. Um maybe. Or if I ever choose to dead last start, a lot of the people who do the dead last start are people who are A's,
Mhm.
who are very very quick and they decide to forego their preferred corral position to start at the back and just kind of prove that you can have a good race from wherever you start. Run or walk no more than two abreast. Other athletes want to get by. If you're walking in a group, please start in that last group. Again, the no more than two abreast is really important for that stretch between the boardwalk and Hollywood Studios because it's just a big sidewalk. So
Mhm.
please be careful. Please be cognizant. I usually say let's get ready to cuddle when we're on our way in there, uh, because it can get pretty snug.
Yeah.
If you want to run with a friend, like I said, and they're in different start group, the faster of the two can drop back. If you're stopping at a water station, move all the way over to the table, grab your water, and then kind of step away. Pro gamer move that I like to do is I like to run fast past the first couple water
Mhm.
tables and then I go to a later one. So that I'm just kind of a blip in, blip out. Um,
Yeah, the people at the end of the tables are always, just hanging out waiting because everyone stops or gets held up, behind the people who are stopping for their water at the beginning. So definitely a pro tip. I also like to make eye contact with my chosen water person and then do the two-finger point at my eyes and the two-finger point at them. So they know I'm coming. I'm like, "I've chosen you. You're mine. Here I come." And then I grab the water and say thank you, and usually they get quite a chuckle out of it.
I don't know if I quite do the point, but I do lock in on the person that I'm looking at, like, here I come. Um, if you have a handheld or even if you're bringing your hydration vest and have a bladder, they usually at the very end of the water table will have somebody with just a giant thing of water and they will refill your handheld, refill your bladder. Really nice, especially it's going to be a hot one. So
Mhm.
make sure that you are paying attention there. Um, if somebody says, "Excuse me, you're coming through," try to move to the side. If you're the person who's trying to pass someone, I try to give an indicator on which side I'm going to pass, which is like on your right, on your left, to help try to just like you're driving in your car, right? You want to minimize the surprise of things. This is springtime surprise, but not the springtime passing surprise.
Yeah, and just like driving in your car, don't be that person we all hate that intentionally cuts people off or speeds up so that someone can't pass you. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Me doing intervals and it's like, "Oh my god, I'm that person." Like when I leapfrogged during the Princess Half, this couple for a long time. And I think they were doing somewhat similar intervals to me too. So like we understood each other. I'm like, but whenever I was like just on their tail and like about to do a walk break, I'm like, please don't pass them, please don't pass them. Like just so I don't have to do that. We had enough space that it would have been fine if not. And I think again, we picked up on what each other were doing, but yeah, don't be that guy. If you're going between two people, which again means two different groups, I don't actually
Yeah,
cut
try
off
not to
couples
split
in
up,
between.
yeah, people intentionally.
Yeah, usually it's just two groups that are just strategically near each other, and like there's enough of a Natalie sized gap for me to go through. I usually say passing middle and make a joke about like how I don't know what I'm supposed to say. And usually somebody laughs. Um, when you're approaching the finish line, you may see loved ones cheering you on. Please don't encourage anyone to join you in the finish line stretch. Your support team is super duper important, but please communicate that the race course and finish area is for registered participants and staff only. This next one's a new one. Enjoy the post race refreshments, but remember that others will want to enjoy the goodies too. When did that's if this one didn't make the list when we drank the beer tent drive cider at the marathon in 2024,
What
that's the only
happened
reason.
this year that they had to add that?
What happened at Princess? And I don't know if this necessarily means people grabbing like multiple Powerades and water. That's not how I interpreted it because like
Mhm.
post race, refreshments. But take your little butt bag, your trick or treat bag, and go trick
Mhm.
or treating for your things. But yes, this was not here when we drank the beer tent dry of cider in 2024. So, what happened at Princess this year that made this appear? That's what I'd love to know. But yes, behave responsibly. Um, the faded beer cup. Can't wait to see how they design it this year. One more thing about just etiquette, safety, etc. With springtime, I mean, we had rain during marathon weekend this year too, so it's not like it's only a springtime surprise thing. But again, be very cognizant of if it rained overnight and whatnot
Even
when
if
you're
it
running.
didn't in Florida, if the humidity is high enough with the dew point, it might just be wet.
Yes, so paint on the roads. So your yellow paint, like your lane separators and whatnot, those can be a little slippery. Your reflectors, just be extra cognizant of that. Watch your footing. Try your best. Just I feel somewhat of an obligation to be like, yes, sometimes it could be a little damper than other times. Not to say that we didn't have that during marathon that weekend this year, but that's something that sometimes catches people by surprise. I know, especially in Anaheim, people were very caught by surprise by the reflectors on the ground. I almost tripped and ate it on one of them. But I recovered. I didn't even fall. I just went, we're good. It's like I stuck the landing. I was Simone Biles. I stuck the landing and did not eat it. Uh, doing my half 1 week after a marathon.
So
Good
proud.
times.
So proud.
Thank you. Thank you. Something lovely about this event guide and the timing in which we are recording this is that we have our yoga transportation in the event
Ooh.
guide. So there's pretty limited event weekend transportation for yoga if you are doing yoga, which is on Thursday, April 3rd at 5 in the morning at Hollywood Studios. So it is not after the weekend the way it was for Princess. It is before the weekend. It kicks off. It is your start to springtime surprise. So hopefully this is not news to you if you are registered for yoga. It's a 1 hour yoga experience. The yoga mat with a carrying strap will be provided for each participant at the event. Get your bottled water, and you have complimentary guest parking at Hollywood Studios. But if you're coming from a resort, again, there is going to be one pickup time at each resort pre-event. Um,
So don't miss it.
do not miss it or you're Ubering. There are a couple different resort routes. There are 11 in total, which I think is similar to how many buses we have. Are there usually 12 buses?
I think there might be 12.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a 12. Yes, because Port Orleans is right in the middle at
Mhm.
6. So love that. That's how I remember these things. Anyway, so Resort Route 1 is your all stars, all three of them. At sports, It's going to be outside of Port Cochier at 3:30 in the morning for sports, 3:30 in the morning for music, and 3:30 in the morning for movies. Resort Route 2 at Animal Kingdom Lodge outside of Jumbo at 3:30 in the morning, which goes for both that and the villas, and outside of Kidani at 3:35 in the morning. Resort Route 3 is just Coronado Springs. All bus stops at 3:30 in the morning. So I wonder if they just have one bus going from each of the bus stops, because there are 4 bus stops there in total. If you can't tell, I have not done yoga yet, so might need to phone a friend after this and just ask how it actually works. I know that there's just the one. Resort Route 4, your pickup locations are at Polynesian Island Village or Disney's Polynesian outside the main area at 3:30 in the morning. Shades of Green, it's at 3:35 in the morning. Main entrance at Grand Flow, it's outside the convention center at 3:30 in the morning. Resort Route 5, your pickup locations at the cabin, it's at the Outpost bus stop at 3:30 in the morning. At Wilderness Lodge, it's outside of Wilderness Lodge, which goes for all of our options, Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek. I did not say the time. So at the Outpost bus stop at Fort Wilderness, it's at 3:30 in the morning. Outside Wilderness Lodge, it's at 3:40 in the morning. At the Contemporary, it's on the west side of the convention center at 3:45 in the morning. And that goes for Contempo and Bay Lake Tower. At Port Orleans, all bus stops, it says 3:30 in the morning between both Riverside and French Quarter. French Quarter, there is just the one bus stop, so it's going to be your front bus stop. Resort Route 7, Old Key West at the Hospitality House at 3:30 in the morning. And Saratoga is at the Springs at 3:35 in the morning. Just to note that is your only place, like at Old Key West and Saratoga, if you're staying there, your only place it does not go around to all the bus stops in the loop. It's just at the Hospitality House at Old Key West and the Springs at Saratoga. Resort Route 8, Caribbean Beach, all bus stops at 3:30 in the morning. Riviera is just the Disney bus stop at 3:35 in the morning. Resort Route 9, the Swan, it's at the convention center at 3:30. At the Dolphin, it's between the main entrance and the convention center at 3:35. And at the Reserve has its own at the side stairs at 3:40 in the morning. Resort Route 10, your pickup location is at the Yacht Club. It's at the convention center at 3:30 in the morning. At the Beach Club, it's at the Disney bus stop at 3:35 in the morning. The Boardwalk, it's at the conference center at 3:40 in the morning. And our final one is Resort Route 11. At Disney's Pop Century at Resort at the ESPN Wide World of Sports bus stop at 3:30 in the morning. And for Art of Animation, it's at the last Disney Transportation bus stop at 3:30 in the morning. What a mouthful of things. But there is a graphic, and we can post that on our socials, maybe with the episode drop, that will help you look at where it is. There's going to be signage in your resort hotel, though, as well. That tells you more about this. That signage usually goes up sometime or during the day, usually actually in the morning on Wednesday. So pay attention, ask your front desk about your Run Disney transportation for yoga, and they are going to be more than happy to help you out. But the most important thing for this is that there is one stop. So it is one bus. So you're Ubering or sleeping in, I guess, if you
or driving
that one
if
stop.
you're local.
Yes. Yeah. If you drove, you are driving. Parking lot, if you are driving yourself, opens at 4. Bag check will begin at 4. You want to get there before 4:45 for check-in. You can't stay and hang all day in Hollywood Studios or after any of the races. You'll need a valid theme park ticket and park reservation to re-enter the park. And must be 10 years or older to participate. And hear great things. Usually there's lots of characters. I know we had a little bit of a damp yoga this year for Princess Half Marathon weekend. Not that we participated, but Hannah was outside around that time in the morning when it was pouring. So it is rain or shine.
Mhm.
They won't have it if it's lightning, but
Just
it's
like a
rain or shine.
pool.
True. True that.
Everything relates back to being a lifeguard somehow.
Everything lifeguard is life, man. One thing that wasn't in the event guide is coast to coast. If you are earning your coast to coast this weekend, yay! But
Congratulations.
something about your expo check-in pass. First of all, if you it will only say that you are eligible if you are picking up. You are doing your second race, and you will be picking up your coast to coast medal this weekend.
Mhm.
So if this is the first of your 2 races, it will say not eligible. For me, not eligible. Because I am not registered for a Disneyland race in the year 2025. But you will need to get a wristband at the expo when you pick your bib up.
Mhm.
You'll have to wear the wristband the whole weekend. Don't let them tie it too tight and almost kill you the way they almost killed Jess. Don't let them put it on too tight. But what you'll do, there's going to be a separate chute for you to go down for challengers in general, and then there'll be somewhere further for them to or for you to go collect your beautiful, beautiful coast to coast medal. And I think that's it.
Yeah. The only thing I would add is, just because I like to say it, is have fun and overall don't be a jerk. Like, we're all here to have fun. We're all going to the same place. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, for real. Don't let high temperatures have hot tempers, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Don't let the sun get to you.
True. Wear your sunscreen. Hydrate, hydrate. And just enjoy what that might kind of not melancholy, but a little sad, like a feeling at the end of the race is that it's going to be quite a few months before we all get together again. But we'll have the memories to keep us the next few months. Sniff.
And we'll be back with you next week to tell you to hydrate again. See you later, guys.
Yes. Also, wait,
What?
download your PhotoPass pictures. If you ran last year, I'm going to be annoying about that for a little longer because springtime was later last year, but download your PhotoPass pictures from springtime last year if you attended, or like in general, if you did something in like late May or something and you haven't downloaded all your PhotoPass pictures yet.
Stay hydrated, folks. See you next week. If you enjoy listening to our show, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We love reading your reviews out loud, and you might even be featured on a future podcast episode. We have a community spotlight on our Instagram at Stride Sisters Podcast. If you want to be featured for a Medal Monday, Finish Line Friday, or any accomplishment you want to celebrate, send us a picture via our social media platforms or our email. And to continue the fun, join us on our Facebook page. All the ways to connect with us can be found in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and until our next adventure, we're wishing you endless miles of magic and memories. See you next time.